Yes, people, welcome back to the preview. And as you know, on today's episode is Manchester United versus the opponent. And yes, it's Manchester United versus Brentford. A big game coming down, kicking off the Premier League match 6-week weekend. And we have a lot of things to break down about this game. So before we even blabber too much about it, let's just jump into it right away. So, Manchester United have an issue as their mainstay next to Bruno Fernandes is injured. Now, this brings out many questions being asked of Ruben Amorim. What is he going to do? Which midfield pair is he going to pick? Is he going to pick a Bruno and Menu and risk a defensive issue? Is he going to pick a Ugarte and Bruno and risk a bit of progressive issue? Or is he going to pick a Menu and Ugarte and risk not having Bruno in the squad, or will he push Bruno up into a 10 position? So you will see that more explained more when we break down the lineups. But as we are speaking about the issue now, I think there are a few things we need to cover about what is going on with Manchester United midfield. Now, I feel like a lot of people just try to beat the bush and speak about Manchester United's midfield because it's just an easy target. They're picking a player like Bruno Fernandes out of position, and they're able to speak that way about him and say, oh, he's not doing the same things, or he looks like he's a fish out of water. They've said so many different terms that are so disrespectful to the elite level in which Bruno Fernandes even walks off the pitch. But for me personally, I just think sometimes the media likes to run without even, like looking at statistics or looking at the small things that matter. Okay, fair, Bruno is out of position. He might not be playing the greatest at the moment. But is he progressively getting better in the position? Is he progressively getting better defensively? Of course he is. We can see not only the numbers are showing, but in the games as well. We're seeing him track back a lot more. We're seeing him picking up spaces where he never used to. Even sometimes he's picking up that Casemiro hole where Casemiro is so good in picking up those little gaps to stop the play from creating or happening. Bruno is there. And not only is Bruno there, he's at the end of chances for the team as well as helping the team keep chances out. So when you look at that, you look at how he's playing and why he's playing at the elite level in which he is. We have to put a little bit of respect on this guy's name. Now, Ruben Amorim was out about talking about Bruno Fernandes because, he's a big fan of Bruno, of course. And he was saying that this is what Bruno brings to the team. So just have a listen.
The most important thing is the influence that he has on the squad. Sometimes he's not he's not in the best position to be the main man in every game, but the point, especially of the captain, is to be the best he can be in every situation to help the team to be better, and he's doing that. I think he can play better, but everyone can play better in our team. But it's really important. You can change in position. We can give different things to the team. He has a lot of quality near the box. He has a lot of quality building up. And he deserved all the praise.
So when you hear him talk about Bruno that way, you understand why he wants the player in his team. You understand why it's very important for him to be a part of his team. Now, Manchester United haven't won 2 games in a row in the Premier League for a while. So this is a chance for them to do that. Not only that, just start to get a run of form. Start to go on a 4, 5, 6 game run and see what happens, See if you can get into the top half of the table and stay there and maintain there until maybe game 25 to 28. That is massive progression for the team. And these are the small wins we need to look at while making a push in the FA Cup and see what happens for the season. The season is still young. We're still in a good position. So we need to put ourselves and put challenges and targets out there to see if we can evolve this team to do something a lot more achievable than what we thought was possible this season. Now let's talk about the opposition, Brentford. Brentford, statistically, you can tell why they are where they are in the table. Okay? Now, when you look at their XG against them, at home, it's 1.83 and 1.56 overall. So they are actually very poor at home conceding chances. Also, when it comes to them, amount of goals being scored at their home or away, when they're away, they are 3.67 and at home they're 2.5. That's how many goals average per game that they are involved in. Now, their biggest player, right, is going to be one of their forwards, which we will explain a bit more in the lineup. And he is going to cause a lot of trouble for United. And he is one of the reasons why they are able to create so many chances with the way they play. Now, another thing we need to look at is they also, average possession for Brentford is 29% at home. And away is 46%. So they actually give up the ball a lot more at home, which tells you what? That they want to play in the transition, which is what makes them so dangerous and is what makes this lineup so dangerous. So here is the lineup I think Brentford will go with. Here we have Collins, Pinnock, and Van der Berg. Yeah? Very good, very, very good back five. Let me just put that out there right now. These guys are very good back five. And then we have Coyote, Yarmouk, Henderson, and Potter. And Damsgaard. Now, unlike Manchester United, Brentford plays in a 3-5-2 and not a 3-4-3. Hence is why you see they have a lot more people in the middle of the park. Whereas now, the only change really in the way this is at the moment is that instead of Manchester United having a central attacking midfielder, helping to crowd the midfield, they just push that midfielder forward into the 9 position and use the 2 strikers a bit more as 10s. So when you look at the evolution here and you look at the evolution at the way United playing, this also allows United, when they play with a player like Acuna at the 9 or Joshua Zirkzee, to automatically kind of pick up a shape similar to this. So that can also mean that allows United to even match the way Brentford play. Now, Jordan Henderson coming back to the league, surprisingly now, has matured so much, it's a joy to watch him play. I am very much enjoy watching Jordan Henderson play. As much as I've actually enjoyed watching this player, which is the most important player in my opinion, in Shada. I think he is so good of a player. Very underrated. I don't think he's a striker. I think he's a winger. I think he has that Callum Wilson kind of vibe to him where he can be a forward, yeah? Don't get me wrong. But he's just small in size, small in body. Like a Jermaine Defoe. Those kind of players. They're not big in size, but I do think as a winger, he would be a lot better. Because a lot of times, even now striking for Brentford, he drifts out wide, picks up the ball, and tries to come inside. So all those are things that are happening within his game that also is showing me that he's improving as a player. Now we see this young player from Bournemouth move over to Brentford in Otara. Now, let me just say this one thing. This guy is such a good player. And I feel like people don't really appreciate how good he is. And I hope at Brentford, now he's at a team where he can get some game time, we can see him evolve his game into becoming something a lot better than what we're seeing right now. You know, Thiago is also a shout to start, but I just think with the way United play and how much their centre-backs gobble up forwards who like the ball to their back, I think that Brentford is going to go for this sort of shape with this sort of personnel. Now let's get into the team that we all want to talk about, no? And we all want to see strive. Manchester United. Now, the back three of Euro, De Ligt and Shaw, because I think Euro comes back in because Noose hasn't played for a long time, so he needs some rest. I can also see a reason how I can see an Aiden Heaven coming into the team and a Luke Shaw coming in for a Dogu, or even a Dallo and an Aiden Heaven in for a Luke Shaw and a Dogu. I can see that happening so much. But Lenny Yoro comes back into the team, I think, just because to help nullify the pace of those two forwards we spoke about. I have De Ligt and Shaw because I think the three of them as a back three can handle that pace. Now, in terms of the one-on-one, maybe Noose might be better in terms before Euro, in terms of him playing in that position and playing on the one-on-one. But either one or the other can solve the issue. I just think Harry Maguire, yes, he can play this game, but this isn't a game for him to play, because I think the way United wins this game is to play a very high line, press Brentford into the half all game. All game. Do not let them out. Press them, press them, press them, press them. Get a few goals because they don't like to have the ball. And then when you have the ball now, or you have them have the ball, they won't be as dangerous because they like to play in transition. Now, the big midfield call is Ugarte instead of Menu. I just think this is happening because he's a destroyer. And that is just his profile in the team. He and Casemiro destroy, he and Bruno create. Now, I can also see Menu coming in here if a De Ligt goes to right centre-back and a Maguire goes into centre-back of the back three. I can see where Menu comes in there because with that back three of Maguire, De Ligt and Shaw, it's a lot more solid than people would think. But why Menu is allowed to play with that team is because De Ligt and Maguire gobbles up so much possession and wins back so many balls when they play together. Because they are both aggressive on the press. Very aggressive getting to the ball. So they are very important to what the team does when they are pressing. And that is why I think Kobe Manu could play if those two play. But I don't see Amorim playing those two players in this game. It's possible. It is possible, but I just don't see him doing that when you have those fast forwards. Now, he also doesn't like to change a team that started a game that he won. He's a bit of a superstitious person like that as well. So also that feeds into me thinking there might be a possibility as well Maguire stays. Lamont, I don't think starts anytime soon, especially with rumors of other goalkeepers coming in. And Dogu and Amada have them at the wing backs position. Now, the big call for me is the Cunhas, the Sesko, and the Mbeumo. They have to start to play together. You don't spend so much money to bring in a front three, to improve your front three to not to play them. And don't get me wrong, Josh Wazerski's played well. You still have Ahmad played well. You have Mason Mount, who started the season exceptionally well. So there's so many things about this front three that people could argue about, but also I think that people could see that these three guys hasn't played together enough in order to develop a relationship as our front three, and then we can always drop a player in this to then always change it and make it a better front three. Now, in terms of predictions, who do I think is going to win this game? Manchester United, no doubt. 3-1 for me. For two reasons. Brentford don't do well as much as home. They don't do as well in terms of they concede a lot of goals at home. They concede a lot of possession at home. They concede a lot of chances at home. And I just don't see a place where United goes to Brentford and don't cause them enough trouble in order for us to dominate the game and win the game convincingly. A 3-1 win looks really good for me. Looks very possible for me. And it has to happen because United have the capability of scoring more than 2-3 goals. And I think this might be the game Sesko gets off. I think this is the game Cunha sets up Sesko and Sesko dinks one home. I'm telling you, and if y'all not be careful, the first time Sesko scores, he goes on a run of these 5 to 6 games just scoring. He won't stop. I promise you, he won't stop. He won't stop. And that's going to be very dangerous for the league, because if United can get their forwards firing before you hit November, December, United will be a force to reckon with in the new year. But yes, people, as usual, it's been your preview. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. Keep hitting the bell for notifications, of course, so I can continue bringing you great content going forward. Have a good time, take care, and ciao, my people.